Welcome to the Fatherhood and Sonship podcast, a podcast where we share, discuss, and learn our experiences and understanding on fatherhood and sonship. Let's go! And Daddy, you?
It's my turn.
Yes. Where were you when you first heard you were pregnant? Oh, you and mommy were pregnant?
And did Sharon post it on Instagram?
Oh, that's a good question. Good question.
I think that's pre-Instagram, pre-Facebook, pre-whatever. But I think you did ask another question as well.
I did. Sorry, just
the question was that what was it like when you grew up at Father's Day? Was that also?
So when you first had your first father, or what that meaning of having celebrating Father's Day
with your own father?
Yes. And just like as a father.
Yeah, because I thought about that, but I'll get to the feeling that that I had as a father myself.
Oh, okay.
But I think when we grew up, Father's Day was more celebrated by our own mothers, and the whole meal that goes around it. For us as children, we didn't really know them. We just knew there was an acknowledgement, it's Dad's Day. But it's really changed. I think it's the commercialization of it that made it more actually was more positive. It is more positive because kids now recognize more that it's Father's Day, there's recognition. But in our day when we grew up, we didn't really have a real strong Father's Day situation. It was just another day, but it wasn't a day of acknowledgement. But nowadays we make a lot of Father's Day, I think, as I said, probably more due to the commercialization, because it's amazing how they put it out there,
buy the thing,
bunch of this, buy this for Father's Day, 20% off and 50% off, etc. In fact, when we were there this morning at the market and at the the bookstore there, or the book bus.
Oh yes,
it's 50% off for fathers. So I thought, okay, they're taking the opportunity to do their commercialization.
If they can give you a reason,
they
will use it.
So it was special. Father's Day was special, but it wasn't as special as we have it now. So then, because I think it's also that. As I said, I think wives celebrated more the fathers than what the children celebrated the fathers. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
It was more the mother really appreciating it.
Her husband.
There's a father there.
Make a special meal.
Yeah,
Wow.
the kids were just there.
Yeah.
And
wondering why the food was nicer on that Sunday.
Yeah, because I don't remember anything special.
Or maybe a bigger portion.
Yeah.
Or more effort put into it.
You know what I'm saying? And it's more from the mother's side and maybe the broader family as well.
Did you feel appreciated on that day for being for the role you played as a father on that day?
No, I'm talking about my relationship with my father.
Oh, I see. So
I'm taking it from that.
So you're taking it
How
from
did
that
I
perspective.
experience Father's Day when
I
was
see.
my father?
Right.
And
Okay.
it was very different that time. I'm not sure what was your experience there. But I'm just saying that because that was just my experience.
Okay.
I'm coming to the part where I have become a father. And I remember when Sharon fell pregnant, like you said, the excitement runs so high. Everybody needs to know. And you couldn't wait for that day. And Sharon kept on telling me I must read the books, what pregnancy is all about and what will happen the day when she actually have to give birth. And I'd never bothered an inch. You don't read a book. I thought it will just happen and it will happen, And then I remember she waking me up in the night. My water just broke. And the first thing I'm thinking is, like, what does that mean?
Should have read those books.
It's got to be something when the pregnancy is coming. She's going to give birth here in the room now. So we made an arrangement with our neighbors Isaac and Margaret Haynes. And then they will take us to the hospital. We didn't have a vehicle at that time. Well, the vehicle was broken. And I phoned, I first had to phone the doctor because that was the most important thing, getting things in place. Yes. Private doctor. And the doctor is Sharon's wife speaking. She just broke her water. I think I woke up between 11 and 12, and and then Sharon woke me up and said, my water broke. And so now I phoned the doctor. Okay, what else must I do? Get Isaac next door to come and fetch. We're going to. So off we went to Carl Bremer. And so now I say to Isaac, you better wait because she's going to get delivered now, and then in the next couple of minutes we'll go back home now. And I'm waiting, and I said, Isaac, no, I think you better go because it doesn't look like it's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. Should have read the book.
Should have read his books.
So it was such a prolonged procedure, but it was worth it, because the adrenaline was running high. And then I remember Aron was a bit of a complicated. He wasn't a bridge, but it was complicated. He sat quite deep. It seems like he didn't want to get out of there. Wow. But the doctor had his ways and means of getting him out of there. And I was fortunate, like you as well. I was there to witness the whole happening. And that's a big blessing to be able to witness the birth of your son. And I remember him eventually coming out, and they put him into the is it incubator? Incubator?
I don't know. Was it an enclosed box or was it an open?
See-through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Incubator. Yeah. And I looked at this little one that came out of his mother's womb now. That's my son now, and it was a heavenly experience. It was like wow. Wow. Speechless. You look at this little boy and look how big he is now.
Do you remember how many people were in the room?
Well, it was quite a team, as you explained earlier on. I don't know, I couldn't identify, but there were like about 4 or 5, including the doctor, that each one was,
responsible for some
busy there with Sharon. And I must say that it was a pleasant experience, even though Sharon struggled to give birth. But the medical staff was very kind. They were very accommodating, and they were making sure she's fine. It was not just going to be a delivery like the usual and come on, get over on it. And they were very compassionate,
supportive in the
very supportive, And I noticed that, and the doctor, he took me home the next day, and that was a happy dad. Whoa! But now obviously Sharon needed to stay a day or two longer. I think nowadays, once you've given birth, you can go
6 hours.
Is it 6 hours?
6 hours.
I think
normal delivery, uncomplicated. 6 hours. Bye.
I think she stayed 2 days or so. Okay. Still, yeah. And then the doctor took me home, and I said to the doc, I was so excited. I said, "Doctor, you see now what happened there? Now that child didn't have any decision. That was me and my wife. We had the pleasure, and God put the thing together in my wife's womb, and I'm preaching to him." I said, that's how God did it, We didn't have anything to do. God took us, and He put us together, and He was just sitting quietly there, quietly. It's interesting. Just sorry, time is not on our side now, but nevertheless, the same doctor was the doctor of the guy that brought us to the hospital, and at one stage he was very doubtful about his faith. He didn't really know if God was in existence. And this couple that took us, or the husband of this couple that took us in, the couple themselves, they had complications upon complications with the birth of their child. He was born 4 or 5 months prior to Aron's birth. And in that time, this little boy when she eventually fell pregnant, they couldn't understand through all the growths that was in her womb and so on that there was, it was incredible miracle that this woman gave birth. And they ascribed it that the Lord helped him in this whole situation, and that sort of encouraged the doctor to reconsider his doubtfulness towards the ability of God and so on. Yeah, because she was already at the late age already. I think she was already 40 at that time.
Sure.
Yeah, to give, but they wanted to have, but and in fact, initially they were told it's impossible.
Yeah.
Sure.
And eventually they had a son.
Praise God.
So that my brief experience of witnessing the birth of my son and becoming a father, it was, it's a deeper feeling, it's really deep feeling. Yeah.
Rumor has it you ran up and down the street.
Oh, yes. I went back the next day.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now I had another look at my newborn son, and
Couldn't believe it.
I was again, coming into this vibe. And when visiting hours was over, because they didn't let me stay there all the time, I walked down and mom says, and I was so happy, and I'm jumping down the road and going, and it's like I'm in this world, and I didn't realize she was watching me from the top. I was so happy.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Awesome.
No.
Yeah. Sure. I think for me, when we were kind of oblivious in the beginning. We were just like, oh man, maybe just, what is it? What did Brigitte say? What did you say?
Maybe I'm just a bit gassy or something.
Yeah. Maybe just a bit gassy or something. So I said, okay. But in the back of my mind, I said, Lord, you're doing something here, clearly. But I'm just going to leave it up to you. But the whole process was so natural. It was beautiful. Because unfortunately, we had, I think 2 years prior, it was 20, so you was born 2020. So I think it was in 2018, yes. Or was it the end of 2017? I can't remember. My wife had to go in for surgery because it was molar. Yeah. It turned out to be molar pregnancy, and that was quite, like, I think, for both of us, I think traumatic. Only for me, it was later did I remember I was calling mommy. Mommy was on the phone. No. Mommy phoned afterwards, but I'm in the kitchen and I'm just laughing. I'm laughing. And the next moment I just start crying and I don't even know what's going on with me. And then I realized I'd only my, I don't know, emotions, my mind, whatever, psychologically, I'd only processed. My body was like, no, you've got to deal with what had just happened. Can't just sort of not let go, but I mean, as if it's, yes, exactly.
Nothing.
Yeah, this is the weirdest experience, eh? Like you are laughing, like you're crying, laughing, and then you're crying. But I learned something that day because I realized, you've got to really sit down and for most couples, I know that probably do go through miscarriages or do experience traumatic experiences, and it's obviously not it's not a nice thing, and yeah, it's the worst thing you could possibly feel, but God is not done with you. I believe that God is not, it's not over. And for us, it has to be a patience of, God, you have all the answers. You'll probably give it to us when we get to heaven one day. If we get to heaven, but no, we'll get to heaven. And I just look forward ahead. But I held on to a promise that God gave me. I think it was in the week that we were either getting married or we had a conversation, or just a week after, where I told Brigitte, I said, 3 years, telling you now, we'll have our firstborn. And we on faith, we just keep going, and we just keep trusting in the Lord. And so 3 years later, the end of last year, 2020, and Xavier, Micah, Isaiah was born.
Wow.
And yes, what a champ, man. Like, he's just been, he also happened, like, he took a while to come.
Took his own time.
He took his time, but he came, and it was a beautiful experience, the most wonderful experience I would never forget. We actually had a home birth. So Brigitte said she didn't want to be in the hospital. It was also during a time where chances are I wouldn't have been able to be in the room.
Because of COVID.
Yes. And so we decided, no, we're going to go natural birth. My wife has always been on that path of doing things naturally. So I think it was a wonderful experience being able to do that and being possible. And also a great team, Debbie Engelbrecht, who's in Hermanus. Just going to give a shout out to her and her team that helped us. And it's just been an incredible experience from there forth. And I think I'm still, like, even now, that's why I'm asking the question with regards to fatherhood or Father's Day, celebrating Father's Day. And you gave an interesting perspective of how the mothers are celebrating, or to some extent, I would believe the children as well, because I mean, you wake up and it's cards, or we woke up and it's cards, and
we used to make cards at school.
Yes, exactly.
Take the macaroni and you stick it on the colored paper.
Oh man, and you color, and it's a stock mannequin with a small one and the dad.
Exactly.
And you know, I think for us it was a joy to be able to do that, to celebrate our dad, and to say thank you for like helping us get through life, and putting clothes on our back and putting food on the table. And I think it's something special that you could do as a son, or as a child, as a daughter, to one's father. And I for me, it's like, I don't know what, like, I'm not expecting anything. Like, I don't put my expectations up there, but I believe maybe something like happens to be on a Sunday, we are going to church, and I think maybe God will share something with me that I might get a deeper or different understanding of actually Father's Day and celebrating your father. Because I don't think us as men or fathers, we don't take the time to celebrate each other. Or we celebrate the accolade, or not the accolades, but I mean, even just moments in life where we can just say, hey, I'm proud of you, like just for what you've done, or just for being here, for being my brother, for being my father. And I'm glad to know you, like things where I don't think we give enough gratification for one another, which we should, or a culture of gratification, if I could put it in that way, which I find, or which I would love to sort of adapt for in the culture that I want to walk in terms of being able to uplift, being able to be an ear or a shoulder to cry on or talk to. I want to be able to say, hey, you know, you like, doesn't matter what time, you call me, you know, let's go for, say, drink coffee. Let's just chat, man. Let's, you know, today, your phone call away, or like WhatsApp call these days away, and do those things, because I think it shouldn't just be a dedicated day, which is great. I'm grateful we have one, which is a reminder that we do, especially in a busy world, we need to take time out. It's good that we,
and you don't find the time, you have to make the time.
Exactly. So that's what, so I want to challenge you guys out there. Find someone, call someone, get a partner, whether it's a prayer, whether it's a coffee, be willing to reach out and say, how are you doing? Start a culture where, I challenge you, start a culture where you can be able to walk a path with someone that you find yourself encouraging, or maybe you able to share what's happening in your life, whether it's traumatic or and I think it's important that we find ourselves at that space of being able to, I guess, in moments to be vulnerable. It's important. We don't have to obviously overshare whatever, but I think it's important to be vulnerable, because for my incident, things might have been different in the sense where I was laughing and then I'm crying the next moment. Then I realized, sure, I don't know if I'm not talking enough about what's happening in my life, or even if the struggles of having being a father, not struggles. I want to say the hardships, the challenges, the pressure, expectations, and maybe
that can all become overwhelming.
True.
In a sense, and and it's right as Carlisle said earlier. It was the mothers that was more promoting this Father's Day, and it's right for the mothers to drive this as well, because they are the one closest to the man. So showing her appreciation would be number one, and then gathering the children around and making sure they understand the value of a father.
Very important.
You understand, and except now the commercialization, we don't really want the commercialization of this day,
Yes.
but more the appreciation of the father and the role the father has to play. Because obviously our world is suffering, and fathers, I think a lot of blame falls on the fathers, because we are not being the role model that God wants us to be.
No.
And we are also, in most or a lot of cases, we are the cause of the misery in the family, with all the abuse that's going on, and in some cases it's only because we are unable to communicate our feelings as well, or feeling unappreciative, or whatever. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, let us, like you're rightfully saying, let us find a way of celebrating and putting our hand around the shoulder and say,
Yes.
"Hi, guy, I'm with you. And let's talk about this."
Yeah.
I think even the simplest questions of how can I help.
Exactly.
We were short story. Someone was sharing in our staff meeting about the way Jesus washes the disciples' feet, and it just got me thinking. Sure, how can I do that for someone? How can I reach out? And I think it's important, even if you just start with a question like, how can I help, or what is it that I can do, even if it's maybe a prayer, or I don't know, a ear, like you said, like talk to me. What's going on in your heart? Or I don't know. You don't have to get deep or philosophical about it, but I think it's important that we just that arm, like, or that being someone who someone not can depend on, but I mean, be there to hear what you have on your heart, or celebrate. Say, hey, wow, you got that promotion, or new car, or you became a father, or a parent, or even small things, if another day. I don't know, just the ability to just do that. Like, it doesn't have to be massive. It can be, it can take 1 minute of your time. It can take 5 minutes. It can take half an hour. It's not going to take your entire life to just reach a hand to someone and say, how can I help? So yeah, I think we really need to I want to say step up. Yeah, I want to say step up, because referring it back to the community, it was just part of our normal life routine where we would watch out for one another.
Let's do that again.
Let's do that again. Why not? I mean, obviously, we respect the rules that are happening in terms of, COVID and things like that. But I mean, there's not ways around it. There are ways to be able to do that without bending or breaking the rules.
Breaking the rules. You can reach out within the framework that's been set up.
Exactly.
I think just a short point is, I think it's very important for mothers to, what is that word now? to confirm
Mm.
their husbands as the father of the children. Because oftentimes, because of those issues that you were referring to between husband and wife, family issues, children get the wrong impression. You know, if the mother deals with the father in a negative way, the children pick up that.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is part of that. Actually contributes to the father-children relationship. So mothers have a role to play as well.
Yeah, and remember, the fathers have very sensitive egos.
Oh, very much.
The bride.
Very much.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah.
Note to all of us as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I must also say that the day when you and Brigitte came to share the news with us, it was wow. We didn't expect. We didn't even have an inkling that something like this is going to come. Yeah. And they had this amazing way of bringing. I'm sure they did the same to you. They came as a little cardusi, a little baggie with written on there, "Grandpa, see you in December." Well, that was so cute. And I still got my cardusi next to my bed.
Cute.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys. I think we're going to close it here. So for those of you tuning in, thank you so much for watching. And please leave a comment what you guys think about the subjects we're talking about, where you're from, and what your expectations are or looking forward to in terms of our chats together. Or if you need a prayer, or if you're in need of something, just reach out to us and we'll see what we could do. But from us, the four of us, we say good night or good evening, good morning. If you're watching, doesn't matter. Goodbye. And until next time, we will see you on the next episode.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you to each and every subscriber and like and comment that you guys have given us and the support that you've shown us. We really do appreciate it. This is just an announcement for, I think it's the next 2 weeks. We are under level 4 lockdown. So unfortunately, we are not allowed to have any social gatherings. With that said, I'll be having some Zoom calls with a few friends and family and the usual team that you see with me on Fatherhood and Sonship. And we're just going to continue to do that online. And with that said, I have a special guest coming next week. I hope you guys will enjoy our conversation. We will continue on the topic of fatherhood. And may you guys have a blessed week, and chat to you guys soon. See you in the future. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Fatherhood and Sonship. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to get updates on all our future content on Fatherhood and Sonship.